Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I put a video out, at least I intend to put a video out. I haven't even edited it yet. Now it's already filmed, and at the end of that video, if you haven't watched it, it'll come out at the top here. It'll be linked below. At the end of that video, I discussed that I need to make a router fence for the router insert that is currently underneath this cabinet. I want to make a fence that can clamp to the factory table saw fence. I don't want to go overboard, get too complicated. I will hook up dust collection to it. This is more for work, to generate money, so it's not a competition in who can have the most extravagant router table fence. I'm strictly going for ease of building it, time to build it, and functionality. So it's pretty simple. And this is mainly for just building cabinet doors. So there's not going to be a lot of bells and whistles on it. Maybe in the future, if I get fancy, need a real fancy birdhouse, I'll modify it. But for right now, I'm just building shaker style cabinet doors. So the first board I need to cut is going to get clamped right up to the fence. And what I'm going to do is kind of break down a section of this 3/4 inch plywood with a track saw, and then use the table saw to get more accurate cuts. It's just easier with the table saw. We got 2.5, then I'm going to do 4, and then a 6. And then I need some blocking in between. So I'm going to do 2, 4, 6, and 6. So I'm going to cut off a 19-inch section of this. This here is my 50-some inch, 50, 60 inch DeWalt track. I've only used this for maybe 30 cuts. I haven't even cut in the one side of it. I've only used one side here. It's got this rubber stuff on the back. It's kind of grippy. For unfinished plywood, there's no need to clamp it. It is rock solid on there. It's not going to move while cutting. Pre-finished plywood, this thing will slip all over. Here's an example of pre-finished plywood that's used to make cabinets. And this is just too slick of a surface for the track saw to stick to it and not have to use clamps. Now the actual saw. This is a DeWalt 60 volt flex volt saw. It does have a dust port, which I need to get an attachment to go on to this 2.5. So for this one cut, it's going to spit a whole bunch of dust out the side. I put my zero clearance insert with my new splitter in there. So these are all just loosely put in place. This is how it's going to go. I am going to make blocking to go between all this for just some support, as well as a little compartment right here with a lid on it where my dust collection will go. But right now what I'm going to do is mark out a hole to where the router bit spins into this. This is probably the white space I'll need. These are different sizes, you can pull them out depending on the size of the router bit. You can start to see it come along. Some of the more fancier designs have another adjustable board that slides on the outside to increase or decrease the size of this opening. Don't really have time to get that involved, so I'm just making one for a widest case scenario. It will help with dust collection if you have an adjustable fence that can increase and decrease the size around the bit. Now I have the pieces just lined up and put together. I need to make 4 cross braces. I'm going 1 at each end and then 2 on either side of this. And then, like I said, I'll put a lid over there and a hole for the dust collection. Now, this new saw of mine has a scale to the right, and I put it up to 4 inches, measured it from the blade to the end, and it appears to be exact. So I'm going to give it a cut. I'll probably err on a little bit wider, and then maybe take a half a blade, quarter blade thickness off to get it just right. Okay, now that I got all 4 blocks cut, I have this one just loosely placed in here and drew a line from corner to corner, and what I'll use is a digital angle finder to find out this angle and then transfer that angle to my miter gauge. So this is one of the rare times that a sled, probably a better setup than what I'm going with right now. Not the safest cut you can make, but it will work. That's for sure, it will work. That wasn't so bad, was it? Anybody else out there cringing? So this is the setup, loosely placed, just to make sure we have correct fitment. And now I'm going to glue it up, nail it up, and the last thing I'll do is I will cut this little panel here and drill a hole for the fitting that I actually have for that. Okay. Actually, these blocks here, I did glue on bottom of those. Yeah, I tried it. So this is just extra unnecessary, I guess. Feels like I put glue together. All glued up, and now I'm gonna. What am I gonna do? Oh yeah, I'm gonna glue. I gotta drill a hole for the port. That's what you would call it. Suction port. And then, which will be this piece here. There you go, just like that. So I picked up this attachment, and this goes inside the hose that I have, and it's meant to go inside the Craig jig. So I figured I'll just use this size hole to suck things out of here. I picked up this Forstner bit kit at Home Depot quite a while ago, so I don't use it very often, so I don't know what the longevity of this is. Looks like 1 1/4 inch is the bit that I'm going to use. This will go in the drill press. I'm going to drill a hole. I'm not going to glue this piece on just in case I need to get in there for some reason. So I'm going to screw it on, and I'm just going to pre-drill in here. To get the right alignment, just to make things easy, I'm going to glue this piece of wood right over the front here, so I can just put it right up here, clamp it on, and it's perfectly aligned. So I started using this glue bot thing, I don't know, this winter, I think. I can't remember how long I spent. Not too long, but it's so you can put glue on like this. I think it's kind of a neat design. I'm sure a lot of people are familiar with it. A lot of people are still using the standard bottle that comes with the Tight Bond wood glue. These are the router bits I got off Amazon. I have no affiliation with them. They had not a ton of reviews, but the reviews that they had were positive. Can't remember. It was under 100 reviews. So I'm gonna just do a quick test on both the tongue and groove bit on some scrap wood and show you how it works. I have noticed there's a bit of vibration with this. I'm guessing if I paid more money for a higher quality router bit set, I wouldn't have that vibration, and I actually might just go out and buy a little bit higher quality one. But I wanted us to see if all this would work, but it's pretty obvious that it works, especially the vacuum cleaner. There's hardly any dust out here. Kind of like that. Still? Looks like I gotta take some more out. I don't like that. So I had to make one final adjustment and finally got just the right fit. Just like Goldilocks. It's a perfect fit. Just a little bit of tension in there. And it's ready to make some doors. There's a little bit of setup in the initial phase. I still have more to do to get it dialed in like perfect. And it takes cutting several test pieces, flipping it over. So here's an example. So this is the way that I pushed it through. See how it went real nice? Flip it over, it probably won't go through. See how it gets caught up on the blade? So you gotta adjust this up and down in teeny tiny increments. Real teeny tiny. So it looks like it needs to go up just a tiny bit. Then once you get that, you adjust it and you cut a whole nother test piece. And then you do it again. You push it through and you flip it over, push it through. That means you got it 100% adjusted, perfect to cut this thing in the exact center. And when you get that, that's your winner. And you keep that. That's going to be how you set this up in the future. You slide your fence over and you dial it up, and you've got this ready to go. Same thing goes for the groove. No, that's the same thing. Where the heck did the groove go? Same thing goes for the groove. You run it through, you flip it over, and see if it passes. If it doesn't, you make adjustments, and you get it all dialed in, and you get two setup pieces basically, and then you're good to go. Then the next time you go to use it, it's much easier and faster. Thanks for watching. The next set of videos is going to be making doors for the cabinet that's behind you. And I'm going to make the doors. The frame's already made. What else do I got to do? Then I'm going to paint those doors and that frame and attach it and make a full-on sink base. So the sink base is 100% finished. That goes to the house. And then I'm going to start on the upper cabinets. There's a lot of measuring to making sure that, because I'm building this all, kind of one-off. There's a lot of measuring to make sure the uppers and the lowers line up and where the dishwasher is going to be, things like that. Garbage can, cabinet that pulls out so you have your garbage cans in there. But that's it. Leave a comment, subscribe, click the like button. Goodbye.